Thank you for being here today. My name is Anna, and today's class is going to be focused on the thoracic spine, which includes the upper and middle portions of your back. And we really want this area to feel free and mobile. And I'm sure you are familiar with that feeling of just kind of like a heaviness or a stickiness kind of right here in the middle of your back. So that's what we're going to work on today, is kind of like clearing out that congestion. So you feel really open and spacious in the ribs, in your breath, in your chest, and in your back. So I would recommend that you have a block or two today, but if you don't have access to blocks, you should be fine without. So let's go ahead and come down onto your back. And if you've got your block handy, go ahead and place it on, I'm going to do the second level. You're always welcome to knock it down a level as well if you like. And we're going to lay your shoulder blades or your scapula right over the block here. You can interlace your hands behind your head and just start to move however it feels kind of intuitive to you. So you could always lean back and lift up, go a little bit side to side, and just playing around here, noticing maybe what feels a little bit restricted. I'm just beginning to breathe in and out through your nose. And just letting the head be heavy in your hands, relax your neck. And then go ahead and we'll just roll over to one side. So you come up off of the block and then lower on down to your back. We're going to take the block now, place it in between your thighs. You can have the arms on your thighs here, just keep your arms straight. And then begin to lengthen your tailbone forward toward the heels and lift the hips up into a bridge. And so you can imagine here that without changing the position of your pelvis, like you were just going to use your glutes to almost push up into your hands there. And let's bring the arms straight up toward the ceiling, and you can interlace your fingers. And now notice your shoulder blades on your back on the floor. And we're going to reach the knuckles, like you're punching the knuckles up toward the ceiling without overly recruiting in the neck here. And just feel the shoulder blades spread apart on your back. And then come back down to center there. So just let the shoulder blades come back down to the floor. And then we'll do that again. Punch the knuckles up. Feel the shoulder blades protract or spread apart. And then bring them back down to neutral. Let's just do that about 3 more times. You can almost think as you punch the knuckles up, like you were almost sending your back ribs into the floor. So if you can imagine right where like a bra strap would be or a heart rate monitor, it's like you're punching that part of your back into the floor as the knuckles come up. Sounds a little aggressive, punching your back into the floor, but you can just think of kind of sending that down. Awesome. And then we'll reach the palms up here, fingers turned back, and then take the right hand to the left fingers and just start to draw them back. Switching hands. You can let your arms come down, and we'll slowly tiptoe the spine back down to the floor. So let's keep the block here between the thighs and bring the legs up toward the ceiling. We'll interlace your hands behind your head. Now cup your skull. You can draw your elbows in towards each other. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, lift up off the shoulder blades. Now let your head relax into your hands, and we are drawing front ribs together and then pushing all of that down like toward the sacrum or toward the floor. Now reach the right arm straight up here, and then see if you can reach the fingertips a little bit longer so that you are pulling that right shoulder blade away from midline. Hand behind the head, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Hug down in the belly, reach the left arm up, and then reach the fingers a little bit longer so we're getting more up off that left shoulder blade. Hug down in the belly. Hand behind the head, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Right arm will reach. Reach the fingertips up a little bit more. Notice that top kind of layer of abdominal muscle is not poking up, but we're drawing it down. Hand comes behind the head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up. Left arm reaches. Reach up a little bit more and then draw down more into your belly. Nice. Hand behind the head. Inhale, lower. Let's add on to that. Exhale, lift up. Turn just an inch to the right here. Staying up off the shoulder blades, reach the left arm outside of the right leg. And then reach the fingertips a little bit further. Hand comes behind the head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up. Turn an inch to the left. Right arm reaches outside the left leg. And then reach the fingertips a little bit more. Hug down in the belly. Hand behind the head. Inhale, lower. We're going to do one more each side. We're going to add on one more thing. Exhale, lift up. Turn 1 inch to the right. Reach the left arm outside the right leg. Reach the right fingers in line with the left hand. And then reach the left fingers more so that the fingers come right next to each other in line. Oh. Hands behind the head. Inhale, lower. Oh, that'll get in there. One more time. Exhale, lift up. Turn 1 inch to the left. Right arm reaches outside the left leg. Reach the fingers longer from the shoulder blade. Left hand reaches. And then reach more through the right fingers, bringing the fingertips together in line. Back through center. And release. Feet can come down. Wow. Some good feeling in the belly. Let's come around into a quadruped or tabletop here. And we'll get the shoulders right over the wrists and the hips right over the knees. So we're going to push down into the left hand. Inhale, open the right arm up. So we're turning from the ribs. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Can come down onto the side of the face gently if you like there. Push the floor away. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread it under. Let's do that 3 more times. Two more times there. And then when you finish that second one, we'll just come back neutral tabletop here and switch sides. So left arm threads under the right. Can come down lightly onto the side of your head there. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread it under. Inhale, open. 3 more there on your own. Just imagining turning from this kind of middle part of the spine, keeping a little lift in the belly. And then we'll meet back in your tabletop here. Lower down onto your forearms. Now we're going to come into a dolphin. So if you have a tendency to let your elbows come out to the sides. Go ahead and interlace your hands here. So we want to keep the elbows underneath the shoulders. Let your head relax and then lift up in between the shoulder blades. So think about that bra strap or heart rate monitor line. Lift up into that point. Tuck the toes and we'll lift the knees here as well. So push the floor away with the forearms. See if you can let your head just completely relax. Sending your hip creases high, and you can bend your knees a lot. Let's take 3 more breaths here. This is such a great way to open up a lot of this kind of sticky tissue, sticky fascia that runs across the back of your body. And it might feel really restricted here, and that is okay. Right, you can modify as you need to. You can bend your knees more, you can take breaks. And then let's lower down to the knees here and pop back up onto your hands. So, fingers are spread nice and wide. We're gonna push the floor away as you start to send your hips back. And we'll come forward. So we've got about 6 more here, so go at your pace. And what I want you to feel is as you're sending your hips back, it's like you are pushing your hands kind of down and forward so that you're almost feeling this slight upward lift of the shoulder blades, like they're sliding up toward your ears somewhat. We're still aiming to keep the neck relaxed, keep the jaw relaxed. And we'll say that 6. Come forward into your tabletop again, and then tuck your toes, lift up in between the shoulder blades, pike your hips for downward facing dog. Just give your head a little shake, forward and back, side to side. And as you're ready, begin to walk your hands and your feet forward toward the top of your mat. And we'll rise all the way up to stand here. So let's take an inhale. Bring your arms forward and up. Notice that as the arms lift up, we're taking the ribs and lifting them up without popping them forward here. So big inhale. Exhale, sit back into the hips. Spine is long. Step your right foot back, lower the knee and come onto the top of the right foot. So we've got the right hip directly over the knee, the right glute should feel firm and active. And let's just begin to roll in the shoulders. You can even imagine the shoulder blades on your back, just starting to glide, maybe even a little bit easier already. And plant your hands down on the floor. Let's step the left foot back for plank. Now lift the throat, lift the face up without jutting the chin forward. Lightly draw the shoulder blades down. And we're lengthening the tailbone toward the heels. The glutes are active here. Take that into a downward facing dog. And then lifting underneath the armpits and the forearms, feel supported in the shoulders. Right foot will step forward. Can lower the left knee, come onto the top of the foot. Left hip is over the knee, left glute is on. Same thing here. Rolling in the shoulders. And even just noticing a little bit of movement, a little bit of freedom in the rib cage here. But we're doing that on top of a steady, neutral pelvis. Bring both hands down, either to blocks or to the floor, and we'll step the left foot up next to the right. Rise to stand. Inhale, arms come forward and up. Feel the bottom of the ribs lift up away from the pelvis. Exhale, hinge and fold, sit back into the hips. Left foot will step back, lower the knee, but keep the toes tucked this time. Left glute is on, and bring the arms up here. Now, if you find that taking the arms like all the way straight up causes you to pitch the ribs forward, maybe you just keep your arms right here and that's totally fine. But drawing the lower ribs back, tailbone lengthens toward the floor. And we're just gonna alternate, reaching one hand up higher at a time. And feel how that movement is originating from the shoulder blade on your back. We'll bring both hands down to the floor. Slide the right foot back for your plank. Lightly draw the shoulder blades down. Squeeze your glutes. Your throat is lifting up. Awesome job. Downward facing dog. Left foot will step forward. Lower the right knee. Keep the toes tucked under here. Right hip is over the knee. The glute is on. The arms lift up. Same thing here. Just alternating, reaching one hand up higher at a time. And this doesn't have to be a huge movement, but just see if you can feel the scapula, the shoulder blade on your back moving. We'll bring both hands down to the floor or blocks here and step the right foot up next to the left. And we'll rise all the way up to stand. So let's take the arms forward and up here, and then take the right hand, reach it up a little bit higher than the left, and then left hand comes down alongside the waist. Do a little side bend here over to the left. And we're not swaying kind of into that right hip, but we're lifting and opening space along this right side waist. And then the left hand comes up, reach the left fingers a little bit higher, right hand comes down, do a little side bend, not dropping into one hip. You can let your head relax there a bit. We'll bring both arms back up, big inhale. Exhale, sit back into the hips. Plant the hands and then step the left foot back here. We're gonna rise up into a crescent lunge. So if you can, soften your back knee a bit. Lengthen the tailbone straight down and feel this left glute active. Now, just like we did in our bridge at the start today, interlace your fingers in front of you and then reach, kind of punch the knuckles forward a bit as we push that kind of bra strap line, that area of the spine, back. And then draw the shoulder blades just slightly back to neutral, back towards each other a little bit. And then do that again. Punch forward, send the chest back. And then draw the knuckles back towards you so the shoulder blades come back to neutral. Let's do that 3 more times. And then this next time, the knuckles are reaching forward. Keep that position of the shoulder blades, just reach the fingertips forward, and then bring the arms up, crescent lunge. So feel like we're lifting the sides of the ribs away from the pelvis, big inhale. Exhale, spin the left heel down, warrior 2. Inhale here. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, side angle, right forearm to the right thigh. Let the right ear soften to the shoulder. Let's do that one more time. Warrior 2. And reverse. Warrior 2. and side angle. Push into that left outer foot. Now bring the left hand down either to a block or to the floor and come onto your left toes. We're going to pack this left shoulder in, squeeze your left glute, open up for a twist. So we're leaning back into the left shoulder blade here, reaching the right fingers high. And just let your head relax. Now bring the right hand down. You can have it on the block or on the floor here. We're going to parallel the feet and sit back into the left hip crease, but keep your hands over toward your right foot. You can always take some fingers into your left hip crease. It's a little reminder to deepen that. Just see if you can send some awareness. Think about moving your breath into the left side of your body. And we'll turn around to face the back here. You can have the hands on your block or on the floor. And we're going to rise up for Crescent Lunge, moving right into the second side here. So soften the back knee a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone straight down and just feel a firmness in that right glute. You can bring your fingers together here and then reach the knuckles forward and push kind of the center of the chest back. And then draw the shoulder blades back to neutral. So bring your knuckles toward you a bit, arms stay straight. Punch forward and back. Let's do about 3 more there. Just feel like you can originate this movement back at the shoulder blades. And the next time you reach the knuckles forward, keep the shoulder blades reach the fingers forward, and then lift straight up. Big inhale. Exhale, spin the right heel down. Open up, warrior 2. Inhale there. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Let your right ear soften to the shoulder. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, side angle. Left ear relaxes to the left shoulder. One more time. Warrior 2. Reverse. Warrior 2. And side angle. We'll bring the right hand down either to your block or to the floor. Spin onto your back toes. Now hug this right shoulder down away from the ear. Lean into the shoulder blade as you open up for a twist. Keep firming that right glute. See if you can just relax your neck a little bit there. Then the left hand comes down, maybe to the floor, maybe to the block. Parallel the feet. Sit into the right hip crease, and the hands will stay over toward the left foot. You can play around with their positioning there. And just noticing the movement of the breath. Imagining directing it to the right side of your body. And we'll turn around to face the front here. Step your feet together. Let's come all the way down onto your back. So grab a hold of your block here. And I'm also going to grab a blanket, support my head a bit, totally optional, but if you have a blanket or a pillow nearby, feel free to use it. So down on your back, we'll take the block, if you have it, on its highest setting in line with the right hip, and bring the left knee across, set it on the block here, and this bottom right knee will be bent, so you're drawing it up in toward your belly a bit. And then where you go from here is really just open to whatever you find to feel good. You can stack the hands and maybe just pull the left arm across the chest, open up there. Or you could trace a little half circle overhead with the left fingertips. But just play around and notice anywhere where you feel a little bit restricted. Just see what feels good for you today in this moment. And as you're ready, rolling over onto your back. Take this right into the second side. Block is on the highest setting, in line with the left hip. Can bring the right knee across. And this bottom left knee just bent up toward you a bit. And then just play around. You can stack the hands and send the right arm straight across. Do little circles overhead. Anything else that feels good. As you're ready, just rolling over onto your back. And we'll come down into Savasana, so if you'd like to have the knees bent or the legs straight. You could always place something behind your thighs if your low back could use that support. Just taking a few moments here, settling in. Without expectations, judgments, just noticing any sensations, any thoughts. Just like you could observe yourself objectively. And just taking in the information. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe moving your arms and your legs. And rocking your head gently from side to side. And eventually, we'll meet up in a comfortable seat. You can roll over to one side, take a breath or two there. And as you come up to a seat, doesn't matter what it looks like, just make it comfy. Just go ahead and place one hand on your belly, one hand over your heart. Just noticing this place beneath your hands, the rib cage, housing these vital organs of the lungs and the heart. And just feeling that sense of freedom and of spaciousness in this whole area around the ribs, around that thoracic spine area. And just allowing yourself to move with that freedom, with that spaciousness, with that support, so that we can move from the place of compassion, consciousness, and of awareness. And feeling that in our own bodies, our own minds, so that we can go out and we can share it with everyone around us. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel a little bit better in your spine. I know I definitely do. If you enjoyed this class, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you never are missing classes that I'm posting, and share these classes with anyone who you think might benefit. So thanks again for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time.